Okay, guys, I'm going to go through the top defenses in Week 14 fantasy football for you guys. We're going to go ahead and just jump right in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football and like the video for me. And we're going to work our way from bottom to top. So at number 7 here, I got the Raiders defense. They are taking on the Los Angeles Rams in Week 14. This one might be one of the only times that the Raiders make this list. Or will it be? The Raiders defense, honestly, if you haven't been watching, they have a legitimate pass rush, guys, and they're pretty good at stopping the run. Their really biggest weakness is going to be in the pass defense, but the good thing for them this week is that the Rams are awful passing the ball. They cannot pass the ball. So this is going to be one of my biggest sleeper, low-key good defensive plays in Week 14. This could be a very sneaky good start. The number 6 defense for Week 14 fantasy football is the Tennessee Titans defense. They are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. The Titans defense is going to come in pissed off, very, very angry after an embarrassing loss in Week 13 to the Philadelphia Eagles. They got embarrassed in a way that they typically do not get embarrassed in. They are a very well-coached team with a pretty decent pass rush. Although they don't generate a ton of turnovers, they are still able to do it sometimes just because they are so well-coached. Plus, Trevor Lawrence is dealing with a foot injury, guys, so there is a chance that he could be limited in this game, and even if he does play, he could be very limited in this game, guys. I expect the Titans to put up a dominant performance here and to really bounce back against an inconsistent Jacksonville Jaguars offense. The number 5 defense in Week 14 is going to be the Seattle Seahawks defense. They are taking on the Carolina Panthers, guys. The Seattle Seahawks, they draw yet another good matchup. They were good last week. I told you guys they were going to be a top 4 defense, and they ended up being a very good defensive play. It's going to happen again this week because of the matchup. This matchup is great. The Panthers offense is already anemic. Sam Darnold gets another start. I don't anticipate them being very good at all. The Seahawks are not a great defense. Don't get it twisted, guys. But they do have the right matchup. Their defense isn't that bad. It's just not great. They are able to get sacks and turnovers most week, and that is why I have this as the number 5 defense in Week 14. The number 4 defense in Week 14 for fantasy football is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles defense versus the New York Giants, guys. The Eagles pass rush, the Eagles defense really, guys, it's really solid. It's really steady play for fantasy football. They're typically not under 6 or 7 points. They're always going to be a consistent, good matchup in your lineup. They check all the boxes, guys. Pass rush, coverage, turnovers. That is what you're looking for in a fantasy defense. They check all of those boxes. The Giants are also in a slump right now offensively, and I think that most teams have figured out that if you're able to neutralize Saquon Barkley and make Daniel Jones throw the ball, they are a very weak team, and Daniel Jones cannot put this team on his back without a good run game. So a lot of defenses are keying in on that, and they have an identity and a blueprint now to beat the Giants offense. The Eagles are really well coached. They know the Giants are in the division with them. They are going to be a good start in Week 14. The number 3 defense in Week 14 is the 49ers defense. They are taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys. And I know it sounds a little weird, like this isn't a great matchup or anything. The 49ers are coming off a Jimmy Garoppolo injury. Their team morale is probably a little bit lower right now. But here's the bottom line for the 49ers this week. The 49ers, guys, we need to accept that they are a great defense. That is what propelled them past the Miami Dolphins last week. They're a top 3 defense that does everything well, from pass rush to turnovers to pass coverage. They do it all very well at a very, very high level. They got all of that covered. They are not going up against a bad matchup. They're not going up against a great matchup. The Buccaneers are okay offensively. They can get some touchdowns, they can get some field goals, but I do think that they can give the ball over as well. And I do think that the 49ers will take the ball over at least one time, and they will end up being a great defensive play in Week 14. The number 2 defensive matchup is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are taking on the Denver Broncos, guys. The Chiefs defense has really done a good job of pressuring the quarterback in 2022 for the most part. They don't create turnovers much, but the good thing is for them that it is just Guys, we need to acknowledge that the Broncos offense is awful. It is awful, and I think people are acknowledging that. But I think sometimes when you're looking at a defense in fantasy football, you're looking for teams that are like the Texans, right? The Panthers, maybe the Rams. It is time to include Denver in that list. Denver is a team that you want to target when you're looking for defenses to pick up on the waiver wire and play that week. They are horrific offensively. And before I get onto a Broncos ripping tangent myself, just know that the Chiefs defense is a great start in week 14. And again, making their second appearance as the #1 defense for this week, it is the Dallas Cowboys in week 14 versus the Houston Texans. Super simple, guys. You need to know two things. One of the best defenses in the NFL going up against the best matchup for defense in fantasy football. The Browns defense last week just put up 30 points in a lot of formats going up against the Houston Texans. You don't think that the Dallas Cowboys can do the same thing? The Dallas Cowboys were dominant last week against the Indianapolis Colts. They put up a 20-point performance as well on defense too. So they are going to be that good, if not even better this week. They do everything at an excellent level at every level of their defense, guys. And the Houston Texans are just so bad offensively. They may be even tanking at this point in the season. I anticipate the Dallas Cowboys absolutely rolling the Houston Texans, and they are going to have those turnovers rolling as well. And that is why the Dallas Cowboys are the best defensive matchup, and that is the best play for defenses in week 14. If you're looking to prepare by picking up players off the waiver wire for week 14, click on this video right here. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and become an official Fanalyst and support the channel by clicking the link in the description.